You asked and we're gonna answer. Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is our very first Q&A.
We're Mel and Paul.
And this is our home.
We're slowly fixing her up and having a good time doing it. This is our version of boat life. Subscribe and welcome aboard. Just popped outside to get my bearings, note down all the questions, wouldn't want to leave anything out. First up on the list, you're all very interested to know what Paul and I were up to before we landed ourselves here on this boat and here on YouTube.
How long are you going to be in there? These people want their questions answered.
The burning question on everybody's lips, my love, is what is your work history and your qualifications?
It's been a lot of different things. My dad was in he was an architect, building trade, so when I was younger I got a lot of building experience, plumbing and things like that. On site of building houses in South Africa was bricks and stuff like that. And then later on in life I went into engineering. So I worked at a place, because my dad did drawing, so I worked at a place we drew up sugar mills. So I worked there for a while. And did night college, was working towards an engineering diploma. Just towards the end of my diploma, because there was an age cut-off, I went and I moved over to become an aircraft mechanic. And then I served my apprenticeship at a company in South Africa called Denel. I worked on Embraer aircraft for Airlink for a number of years. Got licenses, well, I had South African licenses, SACAA licenses on Embraer 135, 145 and 190. It's the bigger jets, 175 and 190 jets, and then their respective engines, Rolls-Royce and General Electric engines that they had. And then we decided to come over to the UK, and because Flybe had Embraer aircraft and Dash 8s, I never worked on Dash 8s until I came to the UK. So I worked on the Embraers there. I worked for Flybe for about 2 years, and then they folded and went under, and then I've been looking for a job, because all my licenses are South African licenses and not EASA, which is like European specifications. I'm finding it hard to find a job because I don't have those licenses here. So, and then after that I went and worked for the Department of Work and Pensions for a little bit of time, just helping them out in paperwork and stuff like that. And then most recently I went and worked for a company that did narrowboats. That's my work history at the moment. I know a little bit about everything, not a lot, but I try to know as much as I can.
I started out with just a diploma in fashion design right out of high school, and after a short stint in retail decided to open my own business. So I designed and manufactured clothing. It took various shapes and forms over the space of about 9 years. I did markets to get it off the ground. I opened 2 different boutique stores. I had my own staff. We had a little studio, and yes, worked with factories, produced clothing, sold to online stores, did fashion weeks, the whole thing. And I love that. I look back on it very fondly and hope to get back there one day and do something like that again. I then ended up becoming a stylist for a large clothing retailer, and I worked in their head office with their marketing team, and we did photo shoots and traveled around and did lots of amazing creative work, and I loved that experience too. Since moving to the UK, I ended up in retail in Exeter. I worked for Topshop and Topman and enjoyed that. However, it wasn't as in-depth or didn't feed me creatively as much as I would have liked. I left there and started at another company where I thought I could progress within their creative studio, but unfortunately after about 3 weeks there was when COVID hit, and so those plans fell apart. With both of our careers brought to an abrupt halt as many people I'm sure found themselves around about March 2020, we decided to get creative and figure out the most important thing that we needed to do, and that was keep a roof over our heads. I can then segue to answering another question, which was why did we buy a boat and move on to the narrowboat as our home in the first place? And that was the reason. We wanted to own something that was ours and have the security that we knew we had a home to stay in and be set free of the restraints from paying a monthly rent. Once we knew we were gonna move on to the boat and we had found the boat, the goal obviously was just to bring in money. We've realized that it's okay that we are not working in the exact dream jobs that we hoped we would. We basically just need to keep bringing in an income, and that's where you find us now. As Paul said, he ended up working for the DWP. I did some work picking and packing in a warehouse last year. I've gotten a TEFL qualification so I can teach English online. Paul's transitioned and done some narrowboat work for boat engineers. So it's just about using whatever skills we have, taking whatever jobs we can find, bringing in money, and the goal is now to save and basically pursue our dream of getting to live a freer life and really enjoying our boat. The good thing is that with Paul's skills, we will always stay afloat, so that is good. I've often thought that I'm not the kind of person that would ever end up on a boat. Being a person that loves clothing, there's no space for it, and my skill set really revolving around fashion and creativity. However, I have some plans in the pipeline to blend my skills from my fashion background and use the uniqueness of the setting, and I've been inspired by other narrowboat businesses, so I'm starting up an upcycled clothing label from the boat. Everything will be made here, and there will be more information on that as it unfolds. We were asked if we had to spend the rest of time, so forever, on a 5-mile stretch of canal, which area or which part would it be? And not having had that much cruising experience, the canals we have been on have been very beautiful, but I would definitely say that my favorite parts have been the rivers. The river where we live now is amazing, the River Trent, and my first ever real cruising experience was on the Thames, and I just look back on those few days as being really, really spectacular. The idea that you can swim there, the things you see, and in general that feeling of being on a very wide expanse of water is incomparable to anything else I've experienced, and so that would probably be my answer. How about you, Monroe?
I've never been there, but I've seen pictures of it, and I think the canal that I'd really like to go and see and stay on for a long time is the Montgomery Canal. So hopefully we'll get there in our travels.
What's so great about it?
I think it's mountainous. It's in valleys and mountains, and I think it's at the top of Wales. I think, is it? I don't remember. Yeah, it goes into Wales. So I think it gets quite mountainous. There's nice views and things, nice sceneries to look at. I think. I don't know. I might be wrong, but that's my choice.
Okay, Captain, take us there.
So another question that was asked was why we moved to the UK. The reasons we moved to the UK was it's more central than Europe. It's easier to go travel in other countries.
Paul's right. The major draw card to moving to the UK from South Africa is that you just feel a little more connected to the rest of the world being here, and that your opportunities and the access to them seem a lot broader. They haven't seemed due to the global pandemic, but all is not lost. Things may not be ideal right now, however, we are always hopeful and remain positive about our futures. We choose to move forward. There's no looking back, and we're on this path now, so let's see where it takes us. Just gonna pack away some dishes while I answer this next question. We got asked if we cook any South African food. Food in this household is a bit of a strange topic, and I grew up eating a lot of South African food, as did Paul. My mom made all the classics, boboties, curries, lots of braais. I come from a family also of hunters where they were always making their own biltong, so we definitely have a love for all different varieties of South African local food. I'm not actually sure why I don't cook too many varieties of South African food these days. We have quite a simple diet, and a few years back I decided to reduce my meat intake. Paul was on board, probably not as on board as I was, but yes, we did it, and I guess that might be the reason why I don't cook so much South African food, but we definitely have plans to do some of that, and right here on this channel. If I'm going to cook anything, Paul's favourite would have to be a curry, a proper Durban curry. He grew up in Durban and so he loves that. We constantly are trying to recreate our favourite one from our favourite curry house in Durban, but without the recipe it proves quite difficult. But every now and again we do definitely give it a bash. I guess you wouldn't say that curry is specific to South Africa, but a Durban bunny chow for us is really a taste of home. There you have it, guys. Voila! That's how many hats I've got. Almost forgetting my caps. Not too many, you've seen them all before. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll let you in on a little secret. In this sneaky little cupboard, in all these cases here, Paul is harbouring his own little cap obsession. I guess you could say he just doesn't flash it around as much as I do, but I'm sure you'll get to see some of them in future episodes.
Yep, we've got some plans in the pipeline. So hopefully we can get out before the weather turns too cold, and even if it turns cold I think we'll still do some cruising. So watch this space. Hopefully we'll go to some scenic places and take you along with us. The next couple of weeks we should be revealing 1 or 2 plans that we have in the pipeline. Hopefully you can all come along for the ride.